Welcome to the Daily Allegory through Astrological Divination. Today's video is Lua's Expiation and the Morrigan's Prophecy. Today we're going to dive into a viewpoint of the moon exposing the secret logs of a malicious group chat and the plethora of insidious plots and chatter by the goddess Lua and the Morrigan. The moon wants to convey what a shame it would be to uncover infidelity, lies, and scandalous affairs only to have the photo evidence and proof end up in the hands of the perpetrators' significant others. Now, I'm going to do another invocation today. Instead of doing my daily prayer, we're going to be conjuring up the energies of the moon, Lua, the Morrigan, purgatory, and divine fate. By the power of the ever-cycling heavens, I call upon the forces that govern light, darkness, and destiny. We focus now on the moon and Lua, light and purification. From the silent silver expanse of the night sky, I call the moon, the celestial witness, watcher of the cycles, bearer of intuition. Shine your discerning light upon this sacred space. Lua, Roman goddess of expiation, goddess of the spoils of war, of cleansing and release. You who purifies the price of victory, I invite your cleansing flame, your purifying water. Stand with me now and consecrate this ground. Lua, hear my call. We now turn our focus onto the Morrigan, fate, fury, war. From the mists of ire, from the ancient battlegrounds, I call the Morrigan, the phantom queen, the great sovereign, the raven goddess of fate, Babd, Macha, Nemain. I invoke your tripartite might. You who stand at the crossroads of life and death, I dictate the outcome of the final battle. Bring your fury, your prophecy, and your inevitable will. Morrigan, hear my call. We now focus on the energies of purgatory and divine fate, the intersection. I call upon the liminal space between worlds, where the threads of destiny are woven and cut. Bring forth the energy of inevitable, the unfolding path that must be trod. And above all, I call upon the divine fate, the inescapable, universal truth, the thread that the Norns weave, the destiny that must be met, the unseen hand that guides all things to their just conclusion. Let your will be known. Let your future unfold as it must. Now we invoke the combination above and the aforementioned. Moonlight and shadow, expiation and prophecy, cleansing and fate, Lua's purifying water and the Morrigan's battle cry. Converge here now. Illuminate the hidden. Bring forth the truth. Shine light above the path that is set before me. By the power of the silver orb and the black feather, I invoke your combined will. Be present with us in this moment, and let the truth be known. It is so because I declare it to be thus. So mote it be. In God we trust. Into the story. Now, the Lua's expiation and the Morrigan's prophecy. The moon, a gleaming scythe in the night sky, cast a cool, intuitive light upon the world. It was a night of profound astrological alignments. The moon moved in a harmonious trine with Mercury, nestled in the third house of communication. This powerful cosmic configuration meant that truths long held in the shadows would find easy passage into the light, delivered not by grand pronouncements, but through mundane channels of human connection, the group text, or group chat to be precise. In a hidden grove, Lua, the Roman goddess of expiation, watched with an ethereal glow. She was the one who purified the spoils of war, who cleansed the sins of victory. She saw the digital chatter of the group chat as a new kind of spoil, a trove of misdeeds to be brought to light. Lua's energy hummed, urging Terra, her mortal avatar, to act. Terra, a young woman with an astrological chart marked by this very alignment, felt a strange but compelling clarity. She knew what she had to do. Now far away, the Morrigan, the the Celtic goddess, the Phantom Queen, perched on the highest peak. A crow form of the great goddess herself. She was a harbinger of fate and prophecy. Her purpose to reveal the inevitable. She had seen the coming war, not of blades and shields, but of reputations and truths. The Morrigan, whose domain was the battleground and the dark secrets of men, had already marked the group chat as the site of this new conflict. She had spoken a silent prophecy to Terra. The evidence lay hidden in the digital history. A truth that must be exposed to bring about necessary, violent change. The forces of Lua and the Morrigan converged through Terra. Guided by Lua's drive for atonement and the Morrigan's certainty of fate, Terra scrolled through the group chat. It was a mundane conversation, but she read between the lines. She saw the damning subtext, the veiled threats, the mocking laughter that had victimized a vulnerable classmate. She felt the emotional weight of their words, being the moon, and found the perfect way to communicate their true meaning, Mercury in the third. She found messages that revealed manipulation and deceit, conversations that undermined and belittled others under the guise of casual banter. She saw the pattern behavior, that Lewis sought to purify, and the Morrigan knew would lead to an absolute upheaval of chaos. With a tap, screenshots were taken. With another, a post was drafted, sharing the harmful exchanges to a wider audience, past the dark and the deep. It was an act driven by the desire for truth and the inevitability of consequence. Lua's influence ensured that the exposure aimed to cleanse the situation, bringing accountability to those whose words had caused harm. The Morrigan's guidance suggested that this revelation was a catalyst, the spark for a confrontation that had been building, now brought to light under the watchful, discerning gaze of the moon, leaving now only fated destiny to pan out. We've got a moon in Aries as fate, fury, and the group chat logs. In the heart of the digital age, under a sky where the moon burned fiercely in the sign of Aries, the stage was set for an inevitable clash. This was not subtle. The introspective moon, this was a blazing, impulsive force, demanding action, confrontation, and the raw unveiling of the self. Fate, fury, and the group chat logs were about to converge in such a spectacular display of divine and human consequence. Terra, a mortal woman with the very Aries moon that mirrored the cosmos above, felt the restless pioneering energy coursing through her veins. She was a natural warrior, less about patient strategy and more about immediate, uncompromising truth. This celestial current made her restless, decisive, and ready to fight on behalf of the unseen. That night, she felt the twin pressures of ancient forces. Lua, the Roman goddess of expiation, watched from a shimmering portal, her presence a cool cleansing fire. Lua desired purgation, the bringing forth of hidden sins. The cleansing spoils taken through deceit, if you will. She saw the group chat as a war trophy of cruelty, a site of moral contamination that demanded purification. Besides her, a darker, wilder energy stirred, the Morrigan. The Celtic Phantom Queen soared through the night sky in the shape of a carrion crow. Her eyes held the gaze of 1,000 battles, her purpose that of an agent of fate and fury. The Morrigan didn't care for cleansing. She cared for destiny and the brutal, necessary upheavals that accompany it. She was the one who whispered to Terra of the coming conflict, of the battle lines drawn in the messaging app, the mundane messaging app. The group chat, the inner circle, if you will, we'll call it, was where the hypocrisy festered. Morrigan had been a quiet observer until now. The dynamic of the Aries moon demanded that she stop observing and start acting. Look at this. The messages flashed across her screen. The ringleader, a seemingly charismatic person, we'll call him JD, was coordinating the systematic campaign of exclusion and character assassination against a mutual friend. We'll call him Sarah. JD, text said. LOL. Sarah actually thinks we're going to the concert with her. So naive. Another member. Right? We should totally ditch her and tell her we got sick. JD. Genius. We need to make sure she gets the hint that she's not one of us. How crazy. Could you imagine an entire group of chat dedicated to discussing just one person? One singular person, and many various manners on how to torture, torment, target, harass, stalk, or mess with them? One person! A whole chat group with tons of people in it. What a sad group of people that would be, huh? Now, the raw malice, the calculated cruelty fueled by Tara's Ares fury. The messages were clear evidence of intentional psychological harm. Even if deleted, there's still a digital footprint of that group chat. Guided by Lua's desire for expiation, Tara knew the truth, and it had to be laid bare. There would be no quiet conversation about it, no gentle confrontation. The Morrigan's influence here demanded a public, undeniable clash, a digital battleground. Tara took perfect, undeniable screenshots. The Moon and Ares dictated a bold move, a direct attack. She didn't reply in the group chat. Instead, she created a new chat, adding everyone from the inner circle, plus Sarah, and several other people they all knew. Then she dropped the evidence like a damn nuclear warhead. The screenshots landed like bombs in this new thread. The immediate reaction was pure chaos. A flood of frantic replies, denials, and then stunning silence. JD tried to lie, to backtrack, but the unvarnished words were there for all to see. The forces of fate and fury had been unleashed. The group was shattered instantly. Reputations were ruined, trust was destroyed, and a swift social justice enacted by the witness and witnesses. Not intimidated witnesses, witnesses. As Tara closed the gap, the job done, she felt a weight lift. Lua had been satisfied. The moral contamination was exposed, bringing the promise of a future cleansing. Now the Morrigan, perched high above, gave a silent caw. Fuck off! The fate of that group had been fulfilled through conflict, and the necessary battle had begun. Under the impulsive, demanding light of the Ares moon, the group chat logs had become a weapon, and justice, harsh and swift, had been served. That's all I have for you guys. Hopefully we're not entertaining group chats that could be incriminating, leading anyone involved to be accessories or accomplices to any crimes that might have been committed. That's a whole felony. Stay safe, guys. I'll see you in the next one.